Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 27 of the ADHD Gamer. I am one of your hosts, Mike McMahon, and joined as always by Mr. Jonathan Franklin.
What's up, ADHD gamers?
Jonathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
It's a wonderful Sunday morning. I have to go to work in a couple hours. It's Christmas week.
I know. So crazy.
I'm very excited. I bought my dad. I haven't bought my dad anything in a long time, like anything big besides giving him a grandchild, which is probably the biggest gift of all. But
At least you can claim that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of told everybody this year, you're not getting anything. I've given you the best gift you can have. So
myself.
I've given you myself out. I've given you my seed.
Child.
My seed is here. So that's.
Don't say it like that. It'll come out wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's okay.
Wrong.
Yeah, true. So I bought me and my dad have always been big race fans. I used to race go-karts when I was a kid, and I wanted to race indies when I got older. I bought me and my dad Indy 500 tickets. So,
oh shit, really?
Yeah, they weren't actually as badly priced as I thought they would be. So we're gonna go up to Indianapolis, and I'm gonna go to the Colts Stadium while I'm there because I'm also a Colts fan, and we're going to go to the Indy 500, and we're also going that Friday night is Styx and REO Speedwagon are playing, so we're gonna go see them as well.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's
all sorts of nostalgia.
Yeah, pretty fun time there, so it's gonna be enjoyable. How are you doing today on this wonderful Sunday, beautiful Sunday morning that's gloomy as shit out? So I'm not sure how it is over there for you guys in the Dale, but
in the Dale, it is definitely a wet, muggy looking area. Well, not muggy, but it's definitely foggy and does look a little gloomy. I'm enjoying it. I don't have to get too crazy out of bed. But
over here in the ridge, it's a little bit it's gloomy as shit, and wind is blowing.
That's good though. We need a little bit of wind.
I don't need it to rain because I'm going to work in a couple hours, and I have to drive in this shit.
Is it raining right now where you're at?
No, it's not raining, but it's supposed to rain all day from what the weather said.
Well, maybe you'll get there before it fucking starts pouring.
Let's hope so. I don't start till 6.
Fingers crossed for you,
yes,
buddy.
Thank you. People can't drive on these roads as it is, so driving in the rain is even worse. Oh, by the way, everyone, I don't know if you knew this or not. Jonathan, you can tell me if I'm wrong since you used to be what you used to be. I believe it's illegal for you to ride with your flashes on during the rain.
It is.
Okay. Thank you.
It is definitely illegal for you to ride with your flashers on.
And I know y'all don't pull. I know y'all didn't pull a lot of people over for that because it's a lot of paperwork. But
I mean, I have.
I'm sure.
Somebody driving like a fucking jackass, and I'm like, nope. What are you doing? What are you fucking doing?
Yeah. What are you doing, meow?
Yeah. All right, now. Done that.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure all of y'all have probably done that at one time.
First year, me and my buddy were like, and he was a grown ass man at the time. He was like 35, 40, and let's do the meow. And me being the young 22-year-old, we shouldn't do that. Come on, don't be a pussy. Okay, and all right, meow. So you could say it the most, just me dying laughing on the passenger side. Listen to him say this. And the person in the driver's seat also laughing, cracking his ass up. So,
I feel like if a cop pulled me over to do that, I'd be like, I'm probably getting out of this ticket. So I'm just gonna sit because I can call on you. So I'm getting out of this ticket. So I'm just gonna sit here and laugh at it.
There's no citation after that. That's just still okay. Have a good day.
This is me wasting your time. This is exactly what this is. Yeah, but I said that a little bit because there are so many people here in the Orlando area, and I don't even want to say Orlando, I'm going to say Florida area, period, for some reason that like to ride with their flashes on during the rain, and it's really annoying. So, and I understand not being able to see in front of you people, yes, but it is more distracting than anything, and I never thought about it until I started driving a truck, and it is way more distracting than what I thought when I'm in a car. It's more distracting when I'm in the truck than when I'm in the car. I don't know why that's like that, but it is.
Because you're higher up and you're looking basically down on them.
Yeah, kind of, and I can run them over at any time, and it probably wouldn't hurt my truck at all. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought about it. Anyway, so back to video games.
That thing we came here to talk about.
This is why we're here. So guys, you can find us on all podcast services for your audio listening needs. You can also find us at youtube.com/ADHD Gamer Podcast, facebook.com/ADHD Gamer Podcast, and on Instagram at ADHD Gamer Podcast. Check us out.
Good.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm so proud that you remembered, because I definitely didn't.
Yeah, I try. I fucking try and remember the plug shit. It's really annoying to try and remember that, but you do it twice a show, and it's really hard to remember. Yeah. So you can find us on all the podcast services and check us out. Please go get us on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rate and a subscribe if you want to. If you like what you're listening to. You can also check our other show out called The Podalorian. The Podalorian is if you haven't known, Podalorian is a show where we just kind of a spoiler cast, and where we discuss all the spoilers and all the like little Easter eggs and stuff from each episode of The Mandalorian. This week will be about Chapter 7, correct?
Correct. Chapter 7, The Reckoning.
The what?
About it. The Reckoning.
Hold on, I'm dying.
I can hear you. That's why I gotta pick up the thing.
I'm dying.
Yes. The Reckoning is what it's called.
Okay.
It was a great episode.
It was a great episode. Me and my wife watched it yesterday. It was wonderful. So we'll be, as soon as we get done here, we're going to be going straight into that. If that was my child, if anybody heard that.
I heard her.
Yeah, she hasn't been feeling good, so she's been screaming away. But anyway, John, let's well, actually, I guess first, have you been playing anything special?
Fuck yes, I have. I've been playing all sorts of stuff because school fucking finally got out. But playing Control, trying to finish that up. My lovely wife got me the Lion King / Aladdin Switch game. Been playing that. A little bit of Apex here and there, and just pretty much everything that I can get my hands on at the moment, because I'm trying to catch up. Mm-hmm. So,
well, you have until March. I mean, there's nothing really big coming out until really March, unless they decide on launching something. So that's kind of
I've got a library full of games.
I agree. I have a checklist on my phone, and there's a checklist of just games that I'm playing. Yeah. So yeah, or trying to get through. Yeah. And I'm a person that doesn't start. I try not to start a new game until I beat the other one, because if not, I will get off and I will go do a random shit.
And you'll have to restart the whole thing over again.
Yeah, because you forget. Yeah. You forget what's going on. Yeah.
I almost had to do that with Control, because I'm like, oh, how do I use the powers? Blah blah blah. No.
I did that with a little bit. Well, actually, I guess I didn't really do it much, but I had to run around and kill random people just to try and get the powers back.
Yeah.
Thank God that game is controls are easy enough to where you can kind of jump back into it pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
What about you, buddy?
I haven't been playing much. I was telling you before, I went and passed my my test to get my CDL. So that's been a big thing, a big weight off my shoulders, so to say. But it's also been a big thing of a lot of studying, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of this, a lot of that. So I haven't had a lot of time. But when I do have time, I have been playing. I've been playing the original Tomb Raider from 2013. Tomb Raider is a series I always wanted to get into, and I've been trying to. I started playing Tomb Raider. Game's a blast. I don't know why I passed it up. I'm playing that. Once I beat that, I'm going to move into Rise of the Tomb Raider and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not really doing much side stuff. It's more just running like story running, just running through the story so I can get the story and have a blast with it. Some side stuff I'm doing because the game is fun. Other than that, I also purchased Ghost Breakpoint. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I purchased it off of Epic Game Store because it was $23.99 and I got a $10 off coupon, so it was $13.99 is what I got for. So I've been playing that recently, and it's actually really fun. I've been enjoying that, and also Pokemon Shield is the one I'm playing, and still hopping into The Witcher. That's about it.
Hell yeah! Are you enjoying the new series? I
have enjoyed every single bit of the new series. I honestly sat and contemplated last night on starting a new show about The Witcher. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because there's not that many fans of The Witcher, which there is, but then there's not. So if nobody's, I thought about doing a Witcher spoiler cast, but it will be weird. I mean, we could probably have like an episode of just talking about it, which would probably be a lot of me talking, kind of how it goes with the how it goes on the Podalorian, where you do a lot of the talking and I jump in here and there. It's probably how it would end up going, because I would have to explain book differences and things of that nature, because there are a couple, like, just to let everyone know, this is a very small spoiler. Did you see did you finish it fully?
No. I've only gotten to, like, I'm halfway in between the second episode.
Okay, so you haven't even got here yet. Well, anyway, no. We're in episode. Me and my wife are in episode 4, and I'm trying to watch it with her, because I'm trying to let her see how good The Witcher is and why I read these books, and trying to explain to her the differences. Like, she seems kind of annoyed at times, and trying to explain to her the differences. Hi, honey. I see you smiling. Trying to explain the differences and like, well, this is here. Oh shit, they went back in time. All right, let me explain to you why they went back in time. And they've done amazing. Like, it's really weird. So I don't read a lot. Comics are my thing. This is probably the very first book series that I've actually read all the way through, and they've made a movie or TV show off of. And I have been able to watch the movie or TV show and be like, oh, I see a difference there. I see a difference there. I see a difference here. I see a difference here. I see a difference here. Kind of like how people did with Game of Thrones. And I mean, one of the big ones is, it's not really a massive spoiler. Triss Marigold does not have red hair in the show. In the game and in the book, like they talk about her red hair being as red as this Deadpool figure. So her hair is like a brunette or a brown or something in the but it's not a massive red. So that kind of got me. I'm like, okay, that's a small thing. Another thing is, have you met Jaskier yet?
I don't think
the Bard.
So.
The Bard.
Oh, he starts singing that fucking song.
Yeah, have you met the Bard?
We just got to that part where he's singing the song.
So they're gonna. So in the show, they call the Bard. They call him Jaskier or Jaskier. His name in the book and in the game is Dandelion. So his actual like his real name is Jaskier Dandelion. That is his name. But they never say Jaskier in the books or in the games. They always say Dandelion. So or Dandelion is Dandelion or Dandelion, whatever you want to say. But yeah, man, I could go on for hours talking about it. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird coming in and reading a book series that I've never done this before, and seeing the differences in the books and the show. And I mean, Henry Cavill plays Geralt amazingly. I think I was very weirded out about his Legolas looking. And when the whole thing started, they showed that screenshot. He looked exactly like Legolas, so it was kind of weird. And then now after watching the show, he's great. I mean, his voice acting's there. The way he acts is on point. Basically, what I've seen so far is this book. These first 8 episodes to me are, from what it seems like, I read descriptions, and when I went through and read each episode description, if anybody wants to know, this book, this to me, this is about the first book that Andrei Sapkowski ever wrote. It's called The Last Wish. It's not heading into the story of him and Ciri, but it is kind of to an extent, but it's heading into what's called The Witcher short stories. So basically giving you a lot of backstory and a lot of stuff that Geralt did back in the day. Just different stories, and all these are on point. They're like, that's what I was telling you yesterday. All the stories in the show are on point with the books. Like, stuff's happening here, and it's very cool to see this. Now, like I said, this is the first time it's ever happened to me, so it's very cool to put words to screen and be able to see what I've been listening to. Because I don't read, I listen to audiobooks. So yes. It's cool to hear Peter Kinney in my ear and hear him telling me the story, and then now I'm on screen, I'm watching it, and I get to see all of it. After picturing it, I get to watch it, and it's either exactly how I pictured, or it's a little bit different, or it's very different. So it's really cool.
Is that Do you feel like you having all this extra knowledge, like if there's a deviation, do you feel like it ruins it a little bit?
No,
or no?
not at all. Not at all. I thought it was.
But is that because they're so spot on to everything else?
Yeah. Correct. Like if they would have done something like Geralt had like fucking like massively red hair, yeah, that would have fucked with me. Or if I thought that Triss not having red hair when I seen it was like, okay, all right. I mean, but there might be a thing where it's like, Triss does have red hair, but she doesn't now. This was never said in the lore. So as far as I always knew, she had red hair, but it's not a massive thing. It's very minute, very tiny thing. Just like Dandelion being called Jaskier, it's a very, very minute thing. It's very tiny. He's always called Dandelion. There are certain short stories to where Geralt and like the first time Geralt meets Jaskier in that pub there. The main difference I've seen so far is I'm guessing you've gotten here. I'm guessing when you've gotten to where they meet in the pub. I'm not gonna spoil anything else. But
I literally, he finished the song and I paused. I had to pause it because we had to leave.
Okay. Anyway,
so no meeting.
a very start of one of the episodes, you're gonna see Jaskier singing in a pub, and then you're gonna see Geralt in the corner, and they're gonna meet for the first time. In the books, they had already known each other at that point, and they walked into that town together, and they knew each other. So there's minute, very small differences like that, but at the same time, it doesn't kill it for me. Like, I think I love this world. I love this story. I've never been so, I don't want to say obsessed, but I'll say obsessed with a world. And like, I know how people get obsessed with like with Star Wars or Mordor. Or, I know a lot of people are obsessed with Mordor and how Lord of the Rings goes, and people are obsessed with the Star Wars galaxy, and what's another big one that people get? Harry Potter, Harry Potter and things of that nature. Like, they want to be in that world. Mine is The Witcher. I want to be in that world. Like, I love it. I can fantasize about it, which I do. I can think about it. It's amazing. I love it. Reading the books, man, did nothing but help me. Like, help me and help my love of this. The games are amazing. I was telling you before, so if anybody's wondering, what was I gonna say? Hold on one second. I'm trying to think about what I was gonna say. So if anybody is really wondering, The Witcher has let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 books in the Witcher series. The very first 2, The Last Wish and The Sword of Destiny, are short story books, and then it goes into the actual story of Geralt and Ciri with Blood of Elves, and that ends at The Lady of the Lake. And then Season of Storms, which came out in 2013, is another short story book that goes in between Blood of Elves and Sword of Destiny. So go read these books, people. They're wonderful. You can check them out. They're amazing, and you'll love them. So after that last book, The Lady of the Lake, is where the story of the first Witcher game starts, that CD Projekt Red made. And then the Witcher 2 comes after that, and the Witcher 3 comes after that. And then we got some news here in a little bit that we're going to tell you about, maybe hopefully a little bit more. So it's a wonderful series, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to see that it's getting really good ratings, and I'm glad to see that everybody else is enjoying it as well as I am. Like, I don't usually go back and watch a lot of shows back to back and kind of rewatch them, but this, I'm pretty sure I will.
I liked it. I tried to get it as much in before I went and saw Rise of Skywalker on the 20th, and I like kind of like you. I have all this extra knowledge of Star Wars. That's why we're doing the Mandalorian shit. But it almost, because I had all those expectations and all that knowledge and stuff, and I watched Rise of Skywalker, especially since we started doing the Mandalorian. I've really, really, really researched things a lot more. It was a good movie, but it also kind of ruined it a little bit for me in certain parts, and I was picky, and I've learned to start watching for things, specifically little minute details, because I've been watching the Mandalorian like that, and I'm like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have watched The Mandalorian and pick things so meticulously, because now I'm noticing things and I understand why some people are hostile toward the new trilogy.
Yeah, I mean that happens with almost any kind of medium, like with it's like me with any kind of comic book movie. Yeah. In all honesty, contrary to popular belief, I hate watching comic book movies because after reading so many comics as a kid and growing up in the comic age and reading and enjoying and putting my world in there, all these stories, they miss so much shit. And when they do, everybody else is like, oh man, this is wonderful, because they haven't read the comics. But when you've read the comics, it's kind of like, man, fuck, dude. I mean, it doesn't kill it, but it's like, you could have done this, man. That's
exactly how I feel. Yeah, I feel like it was good. It was good, and on its own, it was a great movie. But in the same sense, like superhero movies, like there was so much other stuff you could have done that would have been better. And it is what it is. So I mean, I started getting more into comic books after you started telling me more about, like, when we first started watching the movies, and then I started researching and learning more.
Nowhere
near your level, though.
No, well, I mean, my level ain't that high anymore. I've actually gotten out of it. I still read like a couple every week, but it's not as big as it used to be, man. I used to be every Wednesday when new comic book day would hit, I'd be at the shop, and I'd be getting new stuff and come back home and reading it. And I mean, comics are expensive now, so I don't really do a lot of that anymore. I'd rather pay for like a service. Like I was paying for DC Universe for a while, and DC Universe would give you the new stuff every Wednesday for free if you paid for that service. So like the movies that bother me are like Marvel movies really don't bother me much, because there are some changes, but the changes that they make in the MCU are good at most of the time.
Especially for a movie that's only a couple hours long,
right? Because at the same time, I mean, as a comic book lover, and as what a lot of us fanboys need to understand, which is still hard for me to understand, is that they only have about 2.5 to 3 hours to make a movie about a 56 issue long, maybe, comic run. But it's still one of those things where it's like, oh man, okay, well, I guess I try to go into stuff with an open mind. Like I'm like, okay, right. I have not read this comic, even though I have not read any comics about this. I don't know what this story's about, which I do like that they changed the storyline up a little bit. I have not read anything about this. Let me go into this with an open mind. And ever since I've started doing that, I've liked stuff more. I've been able to enjoy it more. Like with what you call it? What was the stuff? It was Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Before reading that, I went into that with a very open mind, because of course they changed up a bunch of stuff. Adam Warlock wasn't in it. There was a bunch of stuff that was changed. So when the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I went in that with such an open mind, and it was wonderful, and I loved it. And it's still to this day one of my favorite Marvel movies. Probably, if not, I mean, I'm a Deadpool fanatic, and I'll say that it's like a top 3 for me. With the other two probably being Deadpool 1 and 2.
When I saw that egg at the end of Galaxy 2. Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna cut real quick. Let me say bye to my kid. All right, everybody. Sorry. Hey, we're back. Had to tell my child bye for the day, and then my dog decided to shit right behind me. So it's been not shit, but actually fart right behind me. It's disgusting. If anybody's ever smelled dog farts, then you know.
They're gross.
They're worse. Yeah, they're worse than ours, and they don't even understand it.
They like.
Sorry, bastard. Yeah, they probably do. Probably lick their asshole after they're done.
Yesterday's dinner.
All right, guys. So we were talking about some comic book movies and some differences, and basically where we were going with that is the differences in, going into a movie or a TV series that you've read all the books or read all the comic books out of, and there are a lot of differences in that stuff, and trying to take your mind to a different area is the hardest thing about that. Try to take your mind to an area where it's like, okay, I'm done. Like I need to put that behind me, and I'm going to watch this movie and then fully enjoy it. Especially because movies are so expensive to go watch now. You kind of have to do that, right. And it worked well for me when I was watching the Marvel movies. The Witcher's been rough. Like it's been one of them things where I go into it like, Oh, I've watched this. Okay. I've watched this in my mind. I've never watched it, but I've watched it in my mind, and I can see this now, and it's wonderful. And then, like I said, but when the little minute things happen, it doesn't really hit me as hard as I thought it would. Like, it's very tiny. Like, if there was something massive in there, then yeah, I would see that. Like I said, if Geralt's hair was like a massive fucking orange, I don't know if I could fucking watch it. You know, It was kind of like how they did with Titans. With Titans, for instance, with Titans, the chick that played Starfire, I can't watch Titans, even though Titans I've heard is really good, and I'm probably going to watch it knowing me, but I can't watch Titans because that's not how I remember Starfire, and trying to watch something like that from your childhood like that is rough, and it's hard, especially when it's not the same. But from what I've heard from people, and the chick probably does a wonderful job. From what I've heard, she does the black chick that plays Starfire does a wonderful job. So I'm probably gonna kick myself and go watch it and just see how it goes. But that's kind of
friends. Sorry, good.
Go finish up.
Two of my friends are hardcore DC, and they refused to watch it in the beginning because of all the differences, like Starfire, and he's a real Nightwing person, blah blah blah. And eventually he broke down and watched it, and he's like, it's fucking amazing. It's
okay, well, that means
I fell in love with it.
I'll probably end up watching it then.
Yeah.
But like it's just rough, man, when you're into something so bad. It's kind of like being into, for instance, being into, let's say, the WWE, and then a shitty ass video game like WWE 2K20 comes out, and it's got so many problems. You have an issue with that, It's kind of like one of those small things. And yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to go into this with an open mind and watch it and fully enjoy it. And it's almost spot on with books. Like, when I tell you almost spot on, dude, I'm talking about like possibly missing just a little bit. Nice. I mean, if this tells you anything, these episodes of which are an hour long, and the whole book, audiobook wise, was about 14 hours long. So this whole season is 8 hours long. You're missing about 6 hours of content there. So if you think about it,
just descriptions of scenes and
very
things like that.
Exactly, because that's exactly, hey, Geralt was here and the trees were green and blah 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 blah, but you can see all that now, so that's where a lot of that came from. So I think it's really spot on. So yeah, man, go check that out, people. Let's hop into some news, John.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so this week Sony has announced that a PS4 Back Button attachment is coming in January. It's going to add programmable paddles on the backhand side. This thing it looks cool. I'm going to go ahead and I'll post some pictures up, or I'll post something up for you guys. If I think about it, I'll probably forget, knowing me. But I will try. So the back button attachment looks pretty cool. You got two paddles on the back, and you have an OLED screen on the back, which I find weird that they put it on the back. I don't know why they wouldn't put the OLED on the front, so that you can see.
Yeah.
There's by the way, this article comes to us from Polygon, from Charlie Hall. It's really weird, but it's understandable. I understand why they did it. It's kind of one of the things to where Microsoft has their version of the Elite controller, and the Elite controller is amazing. I mean, it's expensive, but it is an amazing controller that lasts, very durable. And this is basically Sony's answer to, hey, we don't need an Elite controller. Let me give you this, and basically this turns it into an Elite controller. Besides the paddles and besides the R2 and R1's not being able to click like they normally like the Elite controllers and all the kind of little small stuff, but this gives you back paddles to give you something programmable, which is pretty cool. It's gonna launch January 23rd, 2020. It's gonna be $29.99. So if you really think about this, you can get a if you get them on sale, which you can get them on sale a lot. PS4 controllers are about $39.99, and you can get this for $30. That'll put you at about $70 for a Sony Elite controller. I'm putting up quotations for people. Elite controller, if you will. Yeah, it looks cool. The OLED screen basically shows you what the paddle is, what the right and left paddle are programmed to. So square, triangle, X, that different kind of stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool. I like the way it looks. I might actually get it if I don't play enough PS4 or PS5 anyway, or I probably won't play as much PS5 as I do on my my Xbox. And I mean, really, Xbox has always had the better controller in my opinion. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. This is not something I need.
No.
It's not something that I personally need, but I mean, if you're a PS fanboy and you that's all you play on, and this is something you like, that's cool for you. I think it's a cool thing. I think it's weird that it comes out at the end of the life cycle. I think it was something that if they would have launched around the first time the first Elite controller was launched from Microsoft, it would have been like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always been third-party ones you can buy, and the third-party ones are kind of expensive, and like the SCUF controller, the PS4 SCUF controller is super expensive. They're like almost close to $200, and I think Astro makes one that's like $180, $200. So basically this is PlayStation giving you a very cheap answer to, hey, you can use this, and you also got to remember it's OEM. So OEM stuff is usually sometimes better than. Mostly better than, because you know it's going to work. So, yeah, guys, go check that out.
I'm still holding out to pick up an old Xbox Elite controller.
I mean,
I want one so bad.
I know you do, but let me ask you this question. Are you super competitive with video games, like for real? Like, I'm asking this for a reason, because that's a lot of the reason why people buy them is because like, do your triggers feel good? My triggers feel fine on a normal controller, because you can move the tension on the control on the triggers and things of that nature. It's really the question of, do you need it? The good thing is that it will last you, and it will be backwards compatible with the Series X. So that's good. Actually, everything you have supposedly is compatible with the Series X, so you really don't have to buy anything. Like, I'm talking about even selling my Xbox One S when it comes time, like a couple weeks before I go buy my Series X, just so that I have it. Because you don't need it if it's backwards compatible. You don't need it anymore because all your saves are in the cloud.
True.
Everything should be fine. I want to get more info on that though.
I don't want to get rid of it before I make sure that all my saves are perfectly up in the cloud and I don't have to worry about anything.
I mean, if you pay for Live Gold, if you pay for Xbox Live Gold, then your clouds are in the save no matter, or your saves are in the cloud no matter what. So
still don't trust it.
Yeah. I mean, until you get full confirmation. I mean, it's kind of a question like, I want Xbox to put on an FAQ or something of, hey, if I'm going to buy the Series X, do I really need my Xbox One anymore? Because supposedly you can play with Xbox One players on the Series X. So that's what I want to see. That's cool. Because I mean, Phil Spencer brought his home, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he said he's been playing with people. So I'm just kind of reading between the lines there of, I guess he's playing with Xbox One players.
It has to be.
So I mean, if he's the only one that's got a console at home, then yes, if he's the only one that has a Series X at home.
Prick. Yeah, there's just no I want one, and I've said I wanted one for a long time for that Elite controller, but I just can't justify the price point.
I mean, it's rough.
If somebody wants to buy me one, I mean, whatever, but I probably won't end up buying one.
It's rough
I just like it.
It's rough to justify $180 being spent on that.
Yeah, for sure. On something that I can spend $40, $50 on or use the one I currently have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like me. I mean, here on my computer, I use a PDP. I use a PDP wired controller that I bought from Walmart, which I think is, people might hate me, but arguably better than the regular Xbox controller. Like the feel of it feels. This is the one I'm using. It arguably feels better when you hold it in your hand. And they do sell a better version that does come with back button paddles, which you can also use this. You can also use this on your Xbox. So I mean, it's not just a PC thing, but they do sell one that comes with back button paddles as well. So if you really wanted that, it's wired though. But I think they sell a wireless one. I don't know. You might want to check in that. Moving on, we got Xbox. We got Microsoft shown off their Xbox Series X at the Game Awards, and everybody was kind of weirded out about the name. I was weirded out about it until I actually started using the name, and I was like, oh, okay, it's actually okay. Sounds pretty cool. So the Series X is just going to be the console name. So I'm gonna guess this is the what we heard about the Anaconda. So Anaconda. So if anybody's ever listened to us or listened to any video game news whatsoever, then you've heard that, that the new consoles are called Scarlet. They're called Xbox Scarlet, but you have two separate consoles. There's going to be Anaconda, which is the beefy console, and then then there's also Lockhart, which is supposed to be the smaller, kind of the Xbox One S equivalent. The Series X is your Xbox One X equivalent, and Lockhart is your Xbox One S equivalent. The Series X, I'm guessing, is the Series X is the One X equivalent. Yeah. So, this is coming to us from Chris Priestman over at IGN. The name of Scarlet Series is just going to be Xbox, which I think is a wonderful idea. I think it's a wonderful name. I think it was smart for them just to go back and do that. I mean, a little quote here from Phil Spencer that he had to GameSpot. We wanted to make sure that one day we wanted to make sure we had that day one. We could deliver on compatibility promise. So far, I've been playing quite a few Xbox 360 games on my Xbox Series X and Xbox One games on my Xbox Series X, and that's just to ensure that they can be there on day one. End quote. So it's going to be backwards compatible. So I mean, it's. You got 360 titles, original Xbox titles, and Xbox One titles that's supposedly all over. So it's gonna be awesome.
Pull out your old discs, people.
I don't know. That has not been said yet. I don't know if you can do discs yet. I don't know if that, but I'm sure you can, because you can do it with the One X, or with the One. You can put a 360 disc in, and it will just put your game on there for you. Yeah. So it's a cool thing. Yeah, it's a cool thing to have. I mean, the name is just Xbox, people, and then Series X, and I'm guessing the smaller one will probably be Series S. It's probably what I'm going to guess. I think that one's going to have, from what rumors say, that one has no disc drive, and it's all digital.
Well, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I fought it in the beginning, but there's no fighting it. The wave's coming, and it's turning out to actually be a little bit better, in my opinion.
I can tell you, I didn't think I would want all of it, but after going digital, and because I've almost went full digital now, I buy, like, the only way I buy something is if there was a game I really wanted, and it's $59 on the store, but then somebody's got it for sale for $9.99 at Best Buy. Then I go pick it up. But other than that, man, it's hard not to go digital, especially if you don't want clutter. If you don't want a shitload of clutter in your house, like if you don't want video games just floating around. But the thing is, the people with the video games floating around will have them always. You know, they could stop Xbox could, for some odd reason, I'm using quotations, people, because I know this will not happen. Let's say Microsoft goes under and they lose all their shit. We lose all of our games that we bought, because their servers are going to go under and all that stuff. So, you know, that's the thing that sucks. The digital rights stuff, the DRM is what sucks, you know. So yeah, that's what sucks. But I can't help but go digital, man. I kind of have to, you know. It's especially if you don't want clutter. That's the main thing.
Especially if you don't want to travel out and leave your house to go to a store and just download shit, and for probably something that's even cheaper. You're probably spending more money to go get the game, to drive and go pay in gas.
Yeah, depending on how far you are away from a GameStop. Like, I'm pretty far away from a GameStop, but I have a Best Buy down the road. But what if it's cheaper at GameStop than it is at Best Buy? I was having that problem with Black Friday. Black Friday was one of the things where some people had it on sale for this price, some people had it on sale for this price, some people had it on sale for this price, and you know, it was kind of rough. There's also the thing of, do you really want to? I mean, Americans, we're a fucking lazy ass country. Do you want to get off your couch to put a new game in every time? I mean, it's kind of that thing, you know. When I can just go to the home screen, quit out of whatever game I'm playing, and go to a new game and play because it's digital. It's right there. So yeah, there's that for you guys. Next story. You got anything else to say about it, John?
No, that's it.
All right. Next story is a big one for me. I've never been a massive Resident Evil fan, but I was a huge Dino Crisis fan, and I was also a big Power Stone fan.
Yeah,
on the old Dreamcast back in the day. So, Capcom filed new trademarks for Dino Crisis, Power Stone, and Darkstalkers. This is amazing news, but here's something I will tell you, and I'm telling you this. I want you to understand, people. I'm telling you this out of full-fledged, I love Dino Crisis. Don't get excited. The reason you should not get excited, and the reason I'm not getting excited, and by the way, this comes from Jordan Gerblick over at Games Radar. I got super excited about this until I listened to Kind of Funny Games one day, Kind of Funny Games Daily, and I was listening to Imran Khan say, don't get excited about this. And why? Because this happens all the time. Trademarks are filed all the time for different things, and this is one of those things to where Capcom did this because let's say Capcom did this because the trademark was coming up to expire, and if they would have let it expire, some other company could have been like, ooh, and bought this, and now they have the rights to Dino Crisis. So you just got to remember that some of this stuff is done out of a business situation. I mean, to be completely honest with you, if Capcom doesn't do a Dino Crisis remake, I find it dumb. If you're doing Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, I fully believe that Dino Crisis deserves one. Dino Crisis was an amazing game that does deserve its recognition. Some
100%.
people loved it. Some people hated it. I loved it. So, especially if it gets the whole RE2 remake. If it gets the whole RE2 remake, I can't wait to play this.
Day one, 100%. Yeah. Just like Nemesis is going to be day one picking it up. The Dino Crisis would be the same way, because I don't care. It was Dinosaur Resident Evil, and it was fucking awesome.
That's exactly what it was. It was Dinosaur Resident Evil. I mean, the game is amazing, man. I mean, I remember playing it back in the day. I played it not too long ago. I played a little bit of it on my Dreamcast, because that's where I originally played this at, was on my Dreamcast, and I played a little bit of it on Dreamcast not too long ago, and of course, it's hard to play, and it doesn't hold up especially with the tank controls. I mean, it's rough. Another one for me would be Power Stone. Power Stone was a big fighting game that was on Dreamcast that I used to play a lot with my cousins and just enjoying it. Another one was Darkstalkers. Darkstalkers was a kind of a 2D fighting game. I don't remember a lot of this one. I didn't play a lot of it. I remember it had to do with I had to do with like a lot of like vampire stuff and things of that nature, but it was a 2D fighting game. Power Stone was kind of that 3D runaround kind of fight, and I loved all these series. So,
Power Stone was the probably only fighter game that I can remember that I really truly enjoyed. Yeah, I played Mortal Kombat a lot, whatever, but Power Stone was so much fun, and it wasn't that hard to play.
No, it wasn't, man, and it's still like it'll still hold up today. I don't know when the last time you played it, but you can go back to Dreamcast today and it still holds up, man. It holds up for me. I played it not too long ago with a buddy of mine that came over here, and it still holds up.
I got that demo disc. Maybe it came on the original Dreamcast demo disc that came with the console, I think, and I played that over and over and over again. Super surprised, because they had like Sonic Adventure and Power Stone and a couple others, and those are the two I played constantly. Yep. And it made me go out and beg my mom to go buy Power Stone for me.
Yeah, I love that game. Yeah. So guys, don't get too excited, but do get excited with it as well, because it could happen, and I think it should happen. Next story, moving on. So Borderlands launched on Stadia this week, which was kind of random. This was something that they said was going to be here by the end of the year, so by December 31st, and nobody had heard anything about it for a while, and then it just kind of randomly came up, like, hey, it came up on Stadia's Twitter, I believe. Hey, yeah, Borderlands is out today, kind of thing. So Borderlands 3 comes to Stadia, but it's a 2-month-old version. This comes from Ethan Gach over at Kotaku. So it launched an old update. The update is up through October 24th. So it's a 2-month-old update. So they don't have like all the new DLC and things of that nature that has came out this week. Which, don't get me wrong, this is not a Stadia problem. This is a Gearbox problem because Gearbox didn't launch the newest update for some reason. I'm not sure why. It kind of makes Stadia look bad again. And it's one of the things where now, this time, I don't know if you can really blame Stadia. I think this one you got to blame on Gearbox. This one you can't blame on Google at this point. Usually we've been blaming a lot of stuff on Google with Stadia, and this one is actually one where it's like, Google, you didn't fuck this one up. This one wasn't you, buddy. This was on Gearbox. So,
well, I mean, if they have the tools and everything like that, they should have planned for this update. And I can understand how they could get to the point where they worked on a 2-month-old update, especially if they're working on toward a specific goal. But I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Gearbox is definitely the one to blame for this one, not Stadia. So. Right,
and I mean, it's a very simple process of, hey, they and there's a very good chance they could update this Joker by tomorrow, which would be one of the things like, oh, okay, so you just took you a couple more days. You just wanted to get the game out there for people. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. As long as it doesn't screw anybody's game up, then yeah, that's fine. But we don't know anything about that. While we're talking about Stadia, I'm going to move into Stadia now works on all Chromecast Ultra. So before, when we talked about this, we had talked about how Stadia was only working on the Chromecast Ultras that were sent with the Stadia Founders Packs or the Premier Packs. Hold on, did you get one? Yes, you did get one with Premier Packs. So with the Premier Packs, they didn't work at all on, or like, let's say I owned a Chromecast Ultra beforehand. I could not play Stadia on that Chromecast Ultra yet. I had to play it on the one that came in the box with it. Now it works on all. So if anybody has one or had one and now you check it out, you could technically check it out if you have a Founders Pass or whatever.
Do you think that was a marketing thing, or it was just they didn't have tech?
I think that was a thing to where it was like, hey guys, you know what we forgot to do? Yeah, we forgot to update these old ones, and they were like, oh shit, that's easy to do. Let's give a month and we'll do that, and that was kind of what happened. I mean, Stadia's been out now for almost a month at this point. Actually, it has been out for a little bit over a month because it came out on October 19th, right? October 19th or November? It's been out for 2 months, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe it's been out for 2 months. So. It was kind of one of, I think it came down to one of those things where it was like, hey, so my name's so-and-so, and I forgot to update the other Chromecast Ultras. I know I'm probably going to be fired, but I'm going to get work on this right now. And it was I think it was one of them things.
I kind of thought it was a marketing thing, like, hey, we got people to buy all this, so here you go. Since they bought this Founders Edition or whatever, these editions, and kind of fuck everybody else for a couple months. But again, it couldn't be.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, with Google being the company, with being the higher power they are, I mean, I could see something like that. Another thing I could see is I don't even know where I was going with that. Another thing I could see is them like, I don't want to say they would fuck anybody, because I don't want to say they would want to fuck anyone, right, because you're starting a brand new console, you're starting a brand new platform. So, with that, you want to make everybody love you, which right now, I mean, I've said this, and I'm stealing this from Greg Miller. You only get one chance at that first impression. Yeah. And your first impression has now been, in a year from now, we very well could be like, damn, this looks good. Maybe I will pick this up on Stadia. You don't know. We never know. It might be like, this is pretty cool. Let me check this out on Stadia. But right now, their image is so badly torn because of the things they did with not launching in beta, controllers not working in this area, Chromecast Ultra's not working, other ones, people not getting the buddy passes, people not getting codes for the games they were supposed to, just random shit like that. It's really bad. This should have launched in beta. I've said that multiple times. And you look at stuff like xCloud. Xbox is doing the right thing with xCloud. It's still in beta. It might be in beta for the next 2 or 3 years. We don't know. They're doing the right thing there, because if something screws up, it's like, oh, hey, it's in beta. You knew about it.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I took it was. all right, well, maybe this is like a marketing ploy, if only the people that pre-ordered the Founders Edition, they get it because they're going to be like really into it. I could see that thought process. Like they're really into it. They ordered the Founders Pack. They wanted it. So they're going to talk big hype about it. But we're going to keep everybody else from just casually joining so that in a couple of months when we release this update, people are going to be like, fuck yeah, I can finally play it. And, just kind of get that yearning or that want, that hype up, Unfortunately, they fucked up a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And, that might have actually hindered them in this process, but you never know what they're thinking.
No, you don't. And I mean, it anything could happen at this point. It's why I said this, the line of, man, one day we could be playing on Stadia and we don't even know. Stadia. I'll admit this again. I remember saying a quote of, Google will kill the game industry with this, and I will admit when I'm wrong, and yes, I am wrong about it, but I'm also not wrong because it still could happen. It could eventually happen one day. It's just not obviously right now. I think if anybody's going to kill this, what's weird to me is that Stadia for some reason launched in October because they knew that xCloud was coming, but xCloud's still probably a year out. Probably around like October of next year. Why did you put it out so fast? Why did you have to put it out a year ahead of time? Why didn't you put it out in like March and say, hey guys, or put it out now and say, hey, we're in beta, and then come out of beta in March? It's really weird. They had so many missing features, and it's a really weird situation over there.
I'm trying to remember. Did Xbox, when they released the original Xbox, was it before or after PlayStation's 2's release?
After, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
I believe it was after. Yeah, it was after because it was 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, it was after. Actually, hold on. PS2 release March 4th, 2000 for PS2, and I believe Xbox was 2001.
November 15th, 2001.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just curious about that. Maybe they're trying to do some marketing bullshit.
All right, so while we're sticking with Stadia, a good story for Stadia here. Oh Jesus, sorry. This comes to us from The Verge over at from Kim Lyons over at The Verge. People, the reason that I plug all these people and plug these stories is so that you can go give them a click. These stories, you need to go give them a click. They write good articles. Go give them a click. So this article reads: after a bumpy launch, Google Stadia forges ahead by adding indie developer Typhoon Studios. Typhoon Studios, nobody really knows them yet. They are coming out with a big AAA game called Journey to the Savage Planet. They are co-founded by Alex Hutchinson. If nobody really knows who Alex Hutchinson is, he was a creative director at Ubisoft on Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4, as we all know, fuck, it's raining outside. Far Cry 4, as we know, is one of the more better Far Cries to play. Far Cry, or Alex Hutchinson is amazing, and he's got people over there from WB, he's got people from EA, he's got people from Ubi that he's brought over there. So Google picking this studio up is awesome because there's a bunch of veterans there. There's a bunch of veterans there that can get things done. Jade Raymond, which is their person over their like games and entertainment division, if you will. So she picks out like all the studios that they're gonna pick up pretty much. She knows what she's doing, and this is big for Stadia. It really is, because they didn't have any exclusives. They had Guilt, and Tequila Works made Guilt, and from what people said about Guilt, it was okay. It was okay. And the things I've heard from multiple people is it was a good game, but if that's the only exclusive you're gonna have, why? Like, this should have been later on. So Typhoon, after making Journey to the Savage Planet, which sounds like to me Journey to the Savage Planet will come exclusively to Stadia eventually. I don't think they can launch that now because they've been developing it for so long. But it'll probably be a Outer World situation to where Obsidian had to launch Outer Worlds on all consoles because technically they weren't bought yet. So it'll probably be a situation like that. But this is big. This is big for them. Typhoon's new studio. They're not really well known, but they will be eventually. Moving into our last story. If nobody knows, I'm a fan of The Witcher. Yeah, just a small one, very small one.
I'm super surprised by that.
Well, yeah, how you should be. So this comes to us from Charlie Hall as well over at Polygon. The story reads that The Witcher author and CD Projekt Red end royalty disputes with licensing agreement. So if nobody really knows what this is about, The Witcher author Andrzej Sapkowski pretty much filed a, I don't even know how to explain it. Filed a, pretty much trying to sue them for almost $16 million. He demanded $16 million in royalties almost a year ago, and now they just came to a new agreement, which means that because I'm sorry. So I'll finish this. So they're coming to a new agreement, which means that more Witcher stuff can be made by CD Projekt Red. Some quotes from this article. Which he pretty much calls himself stupid, and I mean it's kind of right. A quote from Andre here. Andre's here to I'm not sure who this is to, but it says quote, I was stupid enough to sell them the rights to all of my novels. He was talking to Eurogamer with this. End quote. Quote, they offered me a percentage of their profits. I said no, there will be no profit at all. Give me all my money right now, the whole amount. It was stupid. I was stupid enough to leave everything in their hands because I didn't believe in their success. But who could foresee their success? I couldn't. I agree with that. The reason I agree with that is because The Witcher was not a massive project. It was not a massive thing in the pop culture space, so say, until. And to be completely honest, and I'm sorry, Andres, I actually love you as an author. You're one of my favorite authors. But CD Projekt Red made me love The Witcher. Not Andres. CD Projekt Red made me love The Witcher because I played the games. So it's kind of one of them things to where a lot of people, he probably seen more sales in his books go up because of this. He probably seen more sales in audiobooks go up because of this. Partially me. I mean, I bought audiobooks because of I really wanted to watch, Yeah. I mean, it's good that they did this, though. I mean, he's finally come to. It's kind of one of the things where it sounds like he came to his senses, and it's like, hey, man, look, I didn't believe in y'all's success. I didn't think y'all could do this. You pulled it off. It's fucking great. Good job. Keep it going, kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the stupidest thing in the world too. If you're going to this like company and they're trying to make a video game and it's new and you don't think it's going to succeed, and they aren't sure if it's going to succeed, that's when you really fucking hammer down. Yeah, well, give me all these retarded ass royalties and things like that for the future, and future games and this, that, and the other. You don't sign away everything to them. And that was a bonehead move on his part. And he's a victim of his own self.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that comes. There's a quote from CD Projekt Red in here. The company has legitimately and legally acquired copyright to Mr. Andrzej Sapkowski's work, insofar as is required for its use in its game development by the company. All liabilities payable by the company in association therewith have been properly discharged. I mean, it sounds like a bunch of word salad, but I mean, it's pretty much a statement of, hey, bro, you signed this shit over to us, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't not have a good relationship with Andrzej Sapkowski if you're CD Projekt Red. And if you're Andrzej Sapkowski, you can't not have a good relationship with CD Projekt Red, because it has to go both ways. Because if you don't and somebody fucks up and something's wrong in something, fans are going to outrage. And then when real fans outrage about that, then you're going to lose sales, or you might lose, book sales, or one might lose game sales, one might lose book sales. Yeah, man, it's crazy how all this worked out, but I'm glad it's done, because now we can get more Witcher stuff out of it, which is cool.
For sure.
They can make little spin-offs, or they can make this, or they can make that. It's really fucking cool, man. I'm really happy where we're going with that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, now let's move into some new releases, which we have none.
Oh, shit.
there are none for next week as well, so I'm just going to let you guys know. Well, there probably are some new releases, but there's nothing big enough to talk about. I'm sure you'll see a random little indie hentai Switch game or something.
I'm buying that.
Me too. Panty Dropper 732. So let's hop into
water sports 33.
Let's go ahead and hop into Budget Gamer. Go ahead, John.
All right, man. We got a bunch of good stuff going on. Start off with cdkeys.com. They just had, as of today, DBZ Kakarot pre-order for the PC is $49.49, which is pretty good for a pre-release. But they also dropped Cyberpunk from last time. Cyberpunk 2077 is now $41.99, and that PayPal 2019 coupon for an additional 2% off is still active. Epic Game Store is having right now the 12 days of free games. As of today, I'm just blanking out right now what that game just came out with. Yesterday was Super Hot, and today is what?
It's hold on one second.
It's that fire game.
Keep talking.
But anyway,
Little Inferno.
Little Inferno,
and I'm pretty sure tomorrow's game is going to be Ape Out.
Yeah. Because they have a picture of like a gorilla over some packaging. They're not giving out the names, so every day you need to check and go take a look.
Hey, one thing I want to add real quick. Just in case everybody was wondering. Well, actually, I'm looking at CD Keys while he's talking, just to see if they've changed any deals. Right now, you can pick up God of War on the PS4 for $7.19.
Oh, hell yeah.
You can also pick up Resident Evil 2 on PC for $13.19. Just want to throw that out there at you guys. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, $39.59. Just want to throw you guys some good deals here. So check that stuff out. Go ahead, John. Finish up.
For sure. So Steam just put Postal, the game Postal, out permanently for free. And GOG also put it out as well, but they also are including Postal 2. That is Stadia Pro still has Tomb Raider from December 1st to the 31st. And Farming Sim 2019 from December 1st to the 1st. Xbox games with gold, Insane Robots, is the same as before. It's going to end on the 31st. From December 15th to the 31st, we have Castlevania Lord of Shadows, Mirror of Fate, that's Mouthful HD for the Xbox 360, and Jurassic World Evolution, Xbox One, December 16th through the 15th. They're going to have some good stuff coming out in... Mike's just fucking doing raise the roof, fucking hand side to side.
I'm trying to stop you because I just seen this. There is also the Resident Evil 3 pre-order on CD Keys for $46.19.
Oh, they must have literally just added that.
I just wanted to throw that one out. Go ahead, finish your statement.
I'm probably gonna buy that after we get off there. And PS Plus, the same as before. It's Titanfall 2, which I need to still download. December 3rd through January 6th. And
you need to play that campaign. One of the best shooter campaigns you'll ever play, I promise.
True.
It's only like 5-6 hours.
That's all I've heard. I've heard that so much. And Monster Energy Supercross, December 3rd through January 6th. And back to you, Mike.
All right. So after that, we're going to go ahead and hop into the topic of the week. This week, our topic of the week is a look back at our year of gaming. How much did you get to play compared to what you wanted to, or how good was this year's games versus others, and how would you kind of rate this year? So I'll let you go ahead and start out with that one, John. Since you came up with the topic, I'll let you go ahead and start it out.
Oh, well, thank you. I would say it was a decent year. It was... When I think about the year of gaming and some of the good games that have come out, I would say it's solid. It's not the best year I've ever fucking had in gaming, but it was a pretty solid year. There was some good quality games came out, games that I spent a lot of time on, like Apex and so forth, just kind of mirroring off of our Game of the Year show. And I'd say I don't even know how I'd rate it. I would just say it was a solid year. It was good quality. I mean, I'd probably give it about an 8. 8 out of 10 if we're putting it on that scale, because it was just good. There was a lot of solid games, like I said. I don't think I did not get to play as fucking much as I wanted to. 100% didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, and that was school and my fault. But hopefully this year, fingers crossed, I'll be able to play a lot more. So. I think it's good.
Okay.
What about you?
So I really didn't get to play everything like I wanted to this year. I played a bunch of great games. Some of it was old, some of it was kind of like back catalog. Usually end of the year is more of a back catalog time. Like now is my back catalog. Like I said, I'm playing Tomb Raider right now. But this year was, I say, more of like a 7-8 year for me as well. There were great games came out this year. I mean, Control took me away. What was something else that took me away? Control took me away. Fire Emblem Three Houses, of course. Y'all have heard me talk about multiple times. Probably a top 5 favorite game of all time for me. You guys have heard me say that. So this year was good, but it was not great. There have been better years, but there have also been way worse years. So it's kind of like a mid-year, which you can kind of expect for a year before new consoles drop. Next year we got new consoles dropping, but we still have a lot of big releases coming out. So we'll see. That's kind of how I feel about this year. This year was kind of one of the things where it's like, okay, it's all right. It's an all right year. It's been a good year, but it's been an all right year. So yeah,
I feel like next year is going to be definitely better.
Oh, next year's gonna be popping.
What we do. Yeah,
I mean, I'm telling
like a 9-10 year.
I'm telling you, I was talking to some people at work the other day. I'm praying to God that Hellblade 2 launches with the Series X, because I'm buying my Series X day one. My wife is not buying me anything for Christmas this year or next year, and she allowed me to save money to get them. So I am getting a Series X day one, and I'm going to make sure, I'm praying that Hellblade 2 comes out, because I loved Hellblade. It took me a while to come to it, but I love that game. So I'm really hoping we can get that.
For sure.
Yeah, I think next year's gonna be a really solid year, especially the beginning. Like March is fucking rough. There's so many games coming out in March. March is so goddamn rough. March and April. I still think that Cyberpunk's gonna get pushed back. It's fucking rough. Jesus, but we'll see, man. It's definitely gonna be a good year, I will say.
And right in the middle of the school year, such bullshit.
Yeah. Damn nerd going to school.
Damn nerd school bullshit.
Going to school, fucking nerds.
Assholes.
Jesus.
Anyway.
No, but it's yeah, it does suck. I mean, it's right in the middle of school year, not only for you, but I mean for anybody that's really a gamer. I mean, if you're in school, it kind of sucks for you. Me, I just work all goddamn day, so I don't have time to play anything anymore. When I do, I play what I can and I go to bed. So for some reason, I'm still looking on CD keys, and the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is $659 on PS4. So you can go get that as well. It's a wonderful game.
It's also free right now on PS Now, if you have the PS Now service. Temporarily.
Yeah. There you go. Temporarily. I think it'll be out till January, I believe. Yeah. All right. Well, John, I think we've pretty much talked about everything we wanted to talk about. You got anything?
Diarrhea.
Huh?
I said, yeah, verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, basically. So we still have to go record this wonderful Podalorian episode of The Reckoning. So we got to go do that. Plus, I have to drop a mean deuce. So it's I've been sitting here. I ate some blueberry muffins before we started here, and it was a horrible idea. So we're gonna go ahead and
your intestines just
just a little bubbly inside there, little bubs. So guys, make sure to check us out on all podcast services, audio wise, pretty much anything you can think of. I know anything you can think of. I put that bitch everywhere. I put both shows actually everywhere. You can check us out on youtube.com/ADHD Gamer Podcast. Check us out on Facebook.com/ADHD Gamer Podcast. Please go give us a like, and you can keep updated with the new stories that we might discuss, or new stuff you might want to see. And then also check us out on Instagram at ADHD Gamer Podcast. John, you got anything to say to the peeps before we kick them out of here?
Not much. Just see you later, ADHD gamers.
All right, guys. It's been wonderful seeing you guys, or no, I guess talking to you. I guess. All right, so we'll holler at you guys next week. Actually, next week while we're sitting here, before we go, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about next week's episode. Next week's episode will be me, John, and Adam. I'm going to try and see if Eric will come, but Eric is also old, so he doesn't like to stay up late. So I'm gonna try and see if he's gonna join us. I don't know how that's gonna work. because we usually record pretty late. So I'm gonna see where this goes. But anyway, next week our episode will not have any news. We will not have, unless something drops like the Game Awards shit did. Unless something drops like that, we will not have any news. We will not have any budget gamer stuff. It's going to be a Games of the Decade episode. And how we're going to do that is we're going to go in and talk about 5 games from every year from 2010 to 2019 that were big personally to us. 5 big games that we personally played that year that we personally loved. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we're going to talk about our game of the decade, something that was big for you. So I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of insight on what's going on, maybe get you excited. I know we're pretty excited to do that. So, and plus, it's the last weekend before 2020. So until we all die on the first of the year in 2020. So,
is there a new thing that we're all going to die on 2020 in the first of the year?
I don't know. I was just going with the 2K thing. I was going with the 2K thing again.
It's a Mayan Native American.
Yeah. I was just going. I was just going with 1999 again, man. That's all.
1999. Flashback.
Yeah. I remember those days. I was 9 years old, and that shit was funny as shit. Even I knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Listen, my dad was a computer programmer, and he thought it was gonna happen. In fact, some of the big tech people, one of his supervisors, quit, saved up all this money, quit her job, built a log cabin with a well and an outhouse and all this shit that didn't involve technology in the middle of the mountains and moved there. That's how crazy people were back in 1999 because they thought computers were going to fucking destroy each other.
My father-in-law tells a story all the time about how all of them were at his mom and dad's house for on New Year's, basically. And then when 2K hit, he went outside and hit the lights on the breaker box.
Your dad and my dad. You said your dad, right?
My father-in-law.
Oh,
my wife's
your
dad.
father-in-law. Okay, well, my dad did the same thing.
He went out, hit the lights on the breaker box, and then they went freaking crazy inside. I guess my wife's grandma screamed and all kind of good stuff. So, all right, guys. Well, next week's gonna be a fun week. We'll talk about it, and we'll get back with you guys. Make sure to check up with us. I guess and all that. It's been wonderful talking to you guys, and ADHD Gamers. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.